It's the season of giving and doing good, right? Then let me be completely honest. I've tried pretty much every Better Health meal kit you can think of, and none have ever really worked for me. That is until I partnered with Factor. Don't bust your belt this bustling holiday season. Eat well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door with Factor. They're dietitian-approved, meaning the diet doesn't have to take a break while Santa and those usually irresistible Christmas cookies roll into town. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Meal options include Calorie Smart, Vegan and Veggie, and Protein Plus. So give Factor a try today and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Ready in 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. The website is factormeals.com/TOC50, Talk of Champions 50, TOC50. And make sure to use code TOC50 to get 50% off your first order. That's code TOC50 at factormeals.com/TOC50 to get 50% off. Keep Christmas and dinner time merry with Factor, a proud sponsor of the Talk of Champions podcast network.
It's that time of year where the weather outside can be frightful, and frightful weather can do real damage to your roof. If you're looking for peace of mind this holiday season, knowing that your roof is taken care of, contact Riverland Roofing. Whether you need an inspection, a new roof, or a maintenance program, Riverland Roofing has you covered, home or business. They're a GAF Master Elite Contractor and can offer warranties that last a lifetime. Licensed and insured, Riverland services Mississippi and its surrounding states. Don't worry about the roof over your head this holiday season. Contact Riverland Roofing today. 662-644-4297. That's 662-644-4297. Or visit riverlandroofing.com. Riverlandroofing.com. Riverland Roofing for all your roofing needs and a proud sponsor of the Talk of Champions podcast network.
Happy holidays and welcome to Red and Blue Smoke. I'm your host, Zach Berry. Joining me, as he always does, after a brief hiatus, we had a nice little holiday break. Mr. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market. Greg, how was the holiday and how are you doing post-Boxing Day?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I had a day off work. Dog sitted for some friends, so me and the dog played the quiet game for a day. I think I might have said five. I think I might have said 5 words the whole day, and I think it was Merry Christmas to my mom. So, no, it was a good holiday. I had a day off. I came back, opened up the store on Tuesday, stocked it back up. Just got done making some ribeye sausage. About to make some Swayze sausage. So, yeah, but just back in the saddle and back in the grind, trying to get through. For 2024, January 1st is right around the corner.
Absolutely. The Peach Bowl is also right around the corner as we record this on Wednesday afternoon. Peach Bowl Saturday, 11 a.m. Central, ESPN, number 11 Ole Miss, number 10 Penn State. We'll get into that towards the end of this show, give our predictions. Let's hear Greg's thoughts on that one. And but first, of course, we got our grub guy on. We got to talk grub. So let's get into Penn State, Pennsylvania. I believe that is the Keystone State. They are known for many things. I don't know how many times you've been to Philly or anywhere in Pennsylvania, but you got your hoagies, your soft pretzels, tomato pie, scrapple, roast pork sandwich. But obviously, Greg, they're known for the cheesesteak and
booing.
They will correct you. They will tell you it is just a cheesesteak. It is not a Philly cheesesteak. It's just a cheesesteak. I know
they're famous for booing also.
Boo.
That's the first child's words. If you're from Philadelphia, it's not mama, dada, or anything. It's boo. So
and then
after, I know they're known for booing.
And then after that, they learn how to say "Go Birds," and there you go. You're off and running. So yeah.
Who's the two people? Who's the people right across the street from each other?
Geno's and
Geno's.
What is it? Is it Pat's?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a family thing going on between that, right? Didn't like somebody leave and opened up one across? Is that kind of how that story came about?
I want to say that's right. I was gonna say I forgot that I drew a blank on Pat's because I've been to Geno's, but it was years ago. But yeah, I think you're right. I want to say they're related, and it was like a feud where basically one said to the other, "I'm going to go start my own spot." Because
Yeah, they're
claims to
like
be
they're
Pat's
complaining
claims
over
to be
they
king of
made the cheese
steaks.
whiz. Yeah, okay. So the cheese whiz, I think it's different. I think they have different whizzes.
Yeah, so Pat's is 1930, and then Geno's, I believe, is or excuse me, Geno's is 1966. Okay, so Geno's is or excuse me, Pat's was first. King of Steaks, they got the marker out front, the historical, landmark plaque out front. One thing about Pat's that you could probably relate here, only shut down 48 hours out of the year. Just Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's it. They're open every other day.
Well, imagine whenever you have a lot of big population like they do in Philadelphia, everybody craves cheesesteaks every day. So I think
Yeah.
they definitely have the clientele for it.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. So again, like I said, they will tell you it's just cheesesteak. You don't need to say Philly. You don't need to say sandwich. It's just a cheesesteak. So, just your standard long, crusty roll. You got thinly sliced ribeye, melted cheese. But then, there's some layers to it. You got flavors, you got textures, all that. I know you do your own, and I want to hear how do you prep everything, your own style on the cheesesteak? Because I know it's a popular item for the lunch special. But yeah, tell the folks, what's the LB's version of a cheesesteak?
All right, so the traditional cheesesteak that you're referring to that's in Philadelphia. So what they do is take a ribeye loin and they smoke it. They smoke it to it's called prime. That's what you get for Christmas is prime rib. So they basically make prime rib. They smoke it to about, I don't know, 120 to 125 degrees, where it's got that medium rare look. And then that way they can throw it on the flat top with the onions and the peppers and everything, and it doesn't overcook. Yet it keeps all the flavor because it was cooked at medium rare, and then you warm it up with the onions and the bell peppers. So it's kind of a shaved meat, kind of like a roast beef style. But that's what you want to do if you want to try to do your own like Philadelphia style. The LB's meat market style is I just take the lane train and I just cut it up, take 2 lane trains and kind of just cut them up, and I sometimes cube it. I sometimes, cut it thin. But what I usually do is I do put that first. And since I've cut it thin, I try to do it to where I cook it at medium rare. So I get some thinly slice it and just toss it for a little bit in that bacon grease. I mean, bacon grease is the key to make everything good. Might not be the best thing for you, but it makes everything good. So stew down some bacon grease and some duck fat. That's what I usually cook down all my Philly cheesesteaks in is bacon grease and duck fat. So that helps whenever you're sauteing that lane train, and then just regular onion, bell pepper, and then set a piece of cheese on it and cover it up and just let it sit there for probably a solid minute until that cheese melts, and toast your bread. And the key for our Philly has got to be the Hoover sauce. You can only get Hoover sauce in Mississippi. Well, you can get it shipped, but that's the key to our Philly is that provolone, Hoover sauce, a light mayonnaise, and just kind of melts it into perfection, and roll it up and dive in. But yeah, Greg Kessinger came in the other day, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Can you cook me a Philly?" I was like, "Sure." And I feel like if anybody asks me politely and then has time, I'll be glad to do anything for them if they walk in and give me time. So he hung out for about 10, 15 minutes, and he's like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "I've been really craving." I was like, "Yep, was like, it's usually the Hoover sauce that you're probably craving. But he's like, no, just everything about it's good. So got to give a shout out to Gray. He's always been a good kid and a good customer.
What's the comment? I know a lot of common toppings. You mentioned the onions and the peppers. I know there are people in Philly that will do ketchup or mayo. And then they call
it's
them,
almost like a comeback sauce, It's like almost your homemade comeback if you want to
so
do
they
that.
just
Like that.
combine it. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
I don't mind a mayo. For some reason, I feel like provolone and mayo work well together.
Especially
Maybe.
when you add that Hoover, it really helps too.
Yeah, ketchup seems odd to me. I'm not a huge fan of ketchup in general, but I am a fan of the long hots, which is what when I first went to Philly and had a cheesesteak, that's what they referred to them, long hots, just bell peppers. They typically don't like to add them. I think that's kind of a no-no in Philly. They like to
So
keep it
my
simple.
bell pepper and onion is just the cube. Just a lightly diced.
Yeah.
We don't do the fajita style peppers. Like it's just lightly diced. It's not. Because I have a lot of people that want meat and cheese only, and I'm like, we can do that. It's not a problem, but it's just not a LB's Philly. And it's just you want to make the customer happy, but. Anyway, we just put light bell pepper and onion because we want you to taste that Hoover sauce and that filet mignon.
Yeah. I enjoy the peppers. I like a little heat on my sandwich, regardless of a cheesesteak or, a sub or anything like that. I enjoy a little.
See, the
little
jardiniere. I'm a big jardiniere guy. I like that jardiniere on my
sandwiches. Especially when they got it just sitting in like a nice little hot tub.
Yeah,
just all that juice. Like, dude, I like burgers for me. I can get pretty particular about my burger. I like a burger to stay conformed and not fall apart. But like a cheesesteak or sub, like, dude, I had Jersey Mike's yesterday. Hey, dude, lather it up with oil and vinegar. Like I want it just sopping wet in that wax paper. Same with a cheesesteak. Like I almost think if it falls apart, like the better it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Mr. Chime Time, I think he did one in. I think he's in Detroit right now, and he did a sandwich place, and they either did it dipped, dried, or something like that. But the sandwich that looked looked fire. It definitely looked like they dipped it in au jus, and I'm a big. I've been watching a bunch of those videos. I've on YouTube on. Instagram, they've got a place in Las Vegas that takes a Philly cheesesteak, like your standard Philly style, cheese whiz and everything, and wrap it up in a pizza and make a pizza cheesesteak burrito.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so I'm like, I think that's the first thing I want to do when I go to Las Vegas is just try that out because it looks really wild.
I've seen that. So it's Alex Delaney. He worked for, I believe it was Bon Appetit. He did a bunch of videos. I can't remember if it was Bon Appetit or another cooking show or website or whatever. But yeah, he did a bunch of food tours and he did all the cheesesteaks in Philly. And he did, I guess, at the very end of the night. Apparently, that's like a drunk food late night move for people in Philly, but he did it where he wrapped it in the pizza. That sounds amazing. But
I told my mom about it. And she was like, "You're gonna do what?" And I was like, "Yeah, they've got a Philly cheesesteak. They wrap it up in a pizza and make a burrito." And she's like, "Okay." She's like, "Do you know is that healthy?" I was like, "Mom, it's I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation."
Okay. Here it is. It's called the Philly Taco, also known as South Street Sushi.
South Street Sushi.
Yeah. So
That's great.
Created in 2003 by Jeff Barg and Adam Gordon. So it was intended as like a challenge on South Street at Jim's South Street Cheesesteak. And So it's also, I guess, referred to as Lorenzo's Jim's Challenge. So yeah, just a sandwich consisting of a cheesesteak wrapped in a jumbo slice. So jumbo slice, and DC has them. Big fan of those. That's a huge hit in DC, the jumbo. But yeah, pretty.
Are you a cheese whiz or the provolone? Do you prefer which one do you prefer on that?
I'm honestly either or. I don't.
Can I just
I
have
don't.
both? But I don't think they
I,
have both. Like it's either or.
I think you. Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like begrudgingly, they'll do it, but traditionally, it's the whiz. Like I know that I can't remember again if it was Geno's or Pat's. They say wit whiz, wit or wit, like they don't say with. It's like cheesesteak wit whiz. It's a weird thing. I don't know if that's like a Philly slang or Philly, accent, but yeah. If I can get both, I'll do it. But if I have to pick one, I guess it probably also depends on the state of mind.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
if
mean,
it's like
it's
if it's like
almost like
lunch, if it's like lunch and I'm gonna sit down, I'm probably gonna go provolone. But if it's after 11 p.m., I've
yeah,
had some cold beer or something, I'm probably gonna go
yeah.
with whiz and get messy.
See, I mean, I don't be sleeping on the chicken Philly. The chicken Philly's fire. I
Dude,
think.
chicken, a well executed chicken Philly is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I'm a big chicken Philly guy.
Yeah, I mentioned Jersey Mike's earlier. I know no free ads, but also I'm a big fan of Lenny's. Lenny's has a really good chicken Philly.
I'll give it. I try not to give any free ads too, but the oyster house at upstairs at Como Steakhouse. So Como
Oh yeah.
Steakhouse, they have the downstairs. Upstairs, they have the oyster bar. Their Philly
Mm,
cheesesteak up there is rocking,
I love that.
and it's only
What?
open on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you got to get up there. It literally reminds me of City Grocery. Like it's so
Okay.
it's so like kind of old school wrapped around bar. They got it's good when the big lady in the back on the flat top making sandwiches. So
Oh
you can
yeah.
only imagine what that chicken or that steak Philly tastes like.
All right. So talking about rolls here, I want to get your take on this. I know John's roast pork in Philly. They do a seeded roll, and they do not do whiz. But they're famous for the seeded roll. I know James Beard one year called it an American classic. So they got a nod from the James Beard people for that. But do you have a preference on the vehicle? Like, do you have a preference on bread?
Oh man, and it's a tough call. It just depends. Like I do like that seed bread sometimes. I think the seed bread needs the provolone and really good onions and bell peppers and like good meat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the cheaper bread, like without seed, I think that's perfect for the whiz and the that. So I just think it's like two different kind. I think the seed bun is more like a fancier style, and then the no seed is just like straight up like old school,
Yeah.
Philly style. That's just how I think about it. But I'll take both of them honestly.
I think another thing, you got to hollow it out. You got to make room
Yeah.
for the protein to where you're not getting a ton of bread. So you get every bite is like you're getting meat, you're getting cheese, you're getting the toppings to where it's not super bready and doughy. I think you got to hollow it out.
Another thing is like how you eat it is a big thing for me. Like I like to make sure I just like to hold the bottom and just wrap the paper down and just eat as I go. That way I'm not
Yeah.
losing any. Like
Yeah,
some
kind of
people
like a
pick it up
burrito.
and eat it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not a pick it up and eat it kind of guy. I like to, roll that paper back and make sure I get all them juices.
Are you looking at cutting your health insurance premiums by as much as 20 to 30%? Are you aging into Medicare and need help finding a Medicare supplement plan? Call Drew Moak of USA Benefits Group at 601-953-8449. Drew is an Ole Miss grad located in Mississippi and licensed in 7 states. He works with the nation's second largest health insurance brokerage with access to 35 different carriers, and he can help you with any of your health insurance needs. From regular health plans to life insurance to dental and vision and even Medicare, he has it all covered. Now more than ever, it is critical to have a health insurance agent who is local and accessible. So call Drew Moak at 601-953-8449 and get your free quote today. Cooler temperatures are right around the corner, and as I like to say, it's the perfect time to play a round of golf. And if you're looking for a premier golf course in Northwest Mississippi or the Memphis, Tennessee area, go to Cherokee Valley Golf Club in Olive Branch, 15 minutes from the Memphis International Airport. With those cooler temps, you might want to stay warm and comfortable on the course this fall. Go in the clubhouse and check out their new selection of outerwear from Travis Matthew and FootJoy, including FootJoy's new lightweight hoodie. This 18-hole par 72 course includes 4 sets of tees to accommodate all players and has 11 lakes, 52 bunkers, and the wide Zoysia fairways and extra-large Champion Bermuda greens and clean roughs make for an excellent opportunity every single time to post a number. If you need a premier golf experience in the Mid-South, go to Cherokee Valley Golf Club. Call them at 662-893-4444 or check them out, olivebranchgolf.com. This podcast also comes to you thanks to Bluff City Advisory Group, Memphis's leading team of finance professionals who can provide advanced assistance with financial planning, pension, and qualified plan support, and business and estate planning strategies as well. Former Ole Miss Rebel and founding partner Ben Still, along with his elite-level customer service team, make it their goal to help you meet the ongoing demands of your financial needs. Learn about this and more at bluffcityadvisory.com. Yeah, so you can get mobile with it. You can walk and talk.
Yeah, because like on the last bite, it's in the palm of your hand, and you're like, "Oh my god, look at all that stuff!" And you kind of like flip it over and kind of, yeah. Just sitting here teaching people how to eat and cook a Philly. That's just great.
Yeah, it's tough to beat. All right, so let's move into some football talk. Let's get into the Peach Bowl. Penn State has not been able to avoid the opt-out bug as they have lost some prominent members on both sides of the ball. They got 2 of their best defenders have opted out, and then their All-American left tackle is out. I know the Olu Ashanu, I believe is his name, consensus All-American left tackle. He's going to play in the NFL. I believe he traveled. I do not think he is going to play. I think the Penn State folks are not expecting it, but maybe he gives it a first quarter. I'm not going to knock anyone for opting out if they're about to make life-changing money in a few months. Look, we all saw in the Peach Bowl a couple years ago, Laramie Tunsil suffered a pretty gruesome injury in the game. So hopefully that doesn't happen to anyone this go round. But yeah, if a guy like that's a surefire first round pick is going to opt out, I do not blame him one bit. So we'll see. But Chop Robinson's out. He is not playing in this game. That is huge for Ole Miss. He is one of their elite edge rushers for a defensive line that has been top 10, top 15 all year in sacks and tackles for loss. So for Ole Miss, trying to establish that run game with Quinshon Judkins, Ulysses Bentley, and Jackson Dart, I think that's huge. I think Ole Miss is going to need to be balanced in this game. They're going to need to be aggressive, take some shots, challenge the secondary for Penn State, which is very good. But I know one of their better cover corners has opted out. But what's your feel on this game? I have some thoughts. And hey, maybe it's a little biased, but I think I have good reason for some of my thoughts. But how do you feel heading into this one 3 days away?
Yeah, I got a text message from my trainer, and he sent me a list of all the transfers and the people that are not playing in the game. He's like, "Are any of these guys going to impact the game?" And I go, "Well, I know that C.J. Johnson isn't playing, and that's going to be a big thing for the that Ole Miss rush." But you don't, like you were saying, you don't blame these guys at all. They're always, you're looking for your future, and you've done your part. And Anyway, I just think Ole Miss's offense is a lot better than Penn State's offense. I know losing those key players for Penn State on the defense is a big loss, and I would like to see Ole Miss, not run first and maybe pass first, kind of open up because Penn State's going to put at least 6 to 7 in the box and at least challenge us to throw, and I just feel like at the first play action, to Trey Harris, if he's one-on-one, you got to take that shot early and literally, let the defense know that, hey, look, you're going to have to put somebody over the top if, are in front of Trey Harris, especially if you can make that first play, that connection. So, and then it will open up the run. I know that everybody's kind of maybe expecting the under, but I'm not trying to be biased, but I just don't see, other than the 11 a.m. kickoff, which I know Ole Miss isn't the greatest at in Peach Bowls with, but other than that, I just think it's a new team, a new attitude. You look at the transfer portal, and there's a lot of buzz with that. You've literally upgraded the defense before you even played in the bowl game. So that's huge for the program, and that's huge because everybody is going to be talking about the transfer portal and how Pete Golden and Lane Kiffin just absolutely tore it up, and it helps whenever Lane's been with the NFL team and has learned the system of adding players, free agency, and that sort of thing. So I think Lane was born and bred to be for this transfer portal. So with that being said, it's just the momentum, I think, with everything with the transfer portal and the way, that you've got key players coming back with Trey Harris, Jackson Dart, and just is Dart for sure coming back?
He hasn't officially announced it, but I believe he's coming back. I haven't talked with him yet. He's probably going to talk after the bowl game, but yeah, there's been hints at some new deals with the Grove Collective and Realtree. I expect him back.
For sure. And, there's just so much momentum going on with the Revs right now that it's just hard for you not to see them just, roll these guys up and blow them out the water. So I think the Revs roll here. There's nothing. I watched a couple Penn State games and, they played great against the lower echelon. But when you put up, a staunch defense like the Ohio State and Michigan, they're really kind of mediocre. So I just trust Ole Miss's offense better than Penn State, and I just think we should at least win by two touchdowns. So with that being said, I'm afraid to know what's really going to happen.
I'm with you though. I think the off the field momentum that's been carried by recruiting. Ole Miss had a successful early national signing day, 21 for 21. There was no drama. Signed everybody. And then, like you alluded to, the portal's just been incredible. The run Ole Miss is on, the number 1 rated transfer portal signing class right now. It's been pretty remarkable to see everything unfold. And it was kind of one of those things when, talking with people about, hey, well, they're in on this guy and this guy. And what do you think is going to happen? Like, well, it's kind of early. We'll see. But yeah, right now Ole Miss is just on another level. With 1 5-star, 5 4-stars, and then 5 other 3-stars. But just the loaded defensive line for next year is going to be a lot of fun, and I think that's big for this game. I think Kiffin and the roster both kind of realize what's at stake here. Ole Miss has never won 11 games in a season ever. And I think you can get a sense of how much it matters because of the lack of opt-out. Cedric Johnson, I get it. He got invited to Senior Bowl. That's the biggest job interview of his life right there. I'm not going to knock a guy that wants to prepare and stay healthy and get ready, especially a guy that's battled injuries his whole career. He made it through the season relatively unscathed. So I'm not going to be mad at a guy that's trying to get ready for that. But nobody else has opted out. I think the players understand what's at stake. I think the culture in that locker room has been a huge part of this season and the success that Ole Miss has had. And I think they're excited for this opportunity. Ole Miss has never played Penn State before in a game. You're on national television in front of everybody in an Access Bowl. I think they're gonna put on a show. I honestly,
good jersey matchup. Great jersey
hell
matchup.
of a hell of a uniform matchup.
I don't know what jersey they're going to rock. Have they said that? It's got to be something.
So Penn State's the home team. They're wearing blue. I really hope that the Peach Bowl will allow a color on color matchup. Like I would love Penn State white helmet, navy jersey, white pant, and then Ole Miss goes powder red, gray, white pant, whatever, doesn't matter. But a powder red combo on the same field as a white navy for Penn State would just be unreal. Probably
well,
gonna
you look
go
at those Ohio State games. I mean, like Ohio State usually wears.
They usually do an alternate or I mean
terrible.
SC and UCLA do color on color and it looks awesome on TV.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of old school. I think whenever Ole Miss played Tennessee, that was a good. No, I think Tennessee were all white. Anyway, yeah, I'm a big jersey guy.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to go powder white. But yeah, maybe they'll try to work something out and do a color on color. But either way, yeah, the powder helmet's going to look good under the lights indoors at Mercedes-Benz. And yeah, I don't know. I maybe it's just because of the recent momentum and what's at stake. I think Ole Miss wins the game. I think there's much more at stake and much more to play for Ole Miss here. Penn State's just kind of, I don't know. I talked with David Brandt this week, and he mentioned it, and he kind of put it in a way where I thought it was pretty well said. Penn State's kind of in neutral right now. They're kind of stuck. They're third in the conference behind Ohio State, Michigan. They can't seem to get over the hump. Ole Miss, they're third in the SEC behind Alabama and Georgia right now, but they're still trending up because that gap is huge between Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss. But they're still trending up. And you look at next year, the schedule sets up nice. You've got all these returning guys, all these returning starters, and you're bringing in the number one ranked portal class. It's huge for Ole Miss. I think this is going to be a launch pad for the Rebels heading into 2024, and it's going to be a special season. I kind of talked myself into it. I think Ole Miss wins by 5 or 6. I think they get a turnover late. Drew Aller's he's been okay. He hasn't done anything super special, but I mean, Penn State haven't played anybody. The Big Ten was kind of bad this year outside of the top 3. Ole Miss's defense has been really good. Their top 25 SP plus defense. Pete Golding, just a hell of a job in year 1. They've been opportunistic. They get after the quarterback, and they've got some turnover, some turnover chaos in them. They'll force some interceptions, some bad throws. I like Ole Miss here. Honestly, Greg, I think it's going to be a 5 or 6 point win for Ole Miss, or maybe they just kind of run them out of the building because I kind of feel like Penn State's just going to kind of go through the motions here.
Yeah, I mean, with everything going and the transfer portal and everything, Lane's kind of, educated these players and said, with the whole rat poisoning thing. So I just, steady the ship and, know, because a lot of people have already said, Ole Miss is definitely going to make the playoffs, but that's not a guarantee. These guys coming in, they might be bad apples, they might be good apples, but you got to make sure, what you're getting into and with the transfer portal. But, it is what it is. But it's just, as an Ole Miss fan, I just don't think it's the end of the world if you lose this game. You just got to, think about the future because future looks really bright. And you don't, you just can't judge it off of this game. Just be thankful that, the ball bounced our ways a couple times this year. The guy doesn't drop it in, the end zone in LSU. We were talking about that last podcast. There's a couple times that, the ball doesn't bounce our way and we're, in Nashville playing in the Music City Bowl. So, it's not the end of the world if we do lose, I think, but with all the momentum, I think we should roll. But it's so exciting what the future holds, with the number one transfer portal cast, the guys that are staying, stay. And then you got basketball undefeated. So it's a good
Yeah.
time to be it's a good time to be an Ole Miss fan, and just gotta take everything with a grain of salt. You can't. I mean, went to a Saints game the other day, and they were booing Derek Carr and everything like that, but they still won the game. But with that being said, when you have Drew Brees for 15 years, I think that you sometimes might get spoiled. So just be thankful that Kiffin took the job and turned the program around, and it is what it is right now. So just I'm really excited for the future, and who knows what the future holds. But it definitely looks good next year, and you just gotta steady the ship and take it one day at a time.
All right. Speaking of the future, tell everybody what you got going at LB's as we head into the new year. I know you're ramping up before New Year's Eve and getting ready for baseball. So what's on the docket this week at LB's?
Well, just got done making some ribeye sausage, and I'm about to go out in there and make some Swayze sausage and some andouille. Just trying to keep the inventory tight. We're not as busy with the kids out of town, but 2024 is right around the corner, and basketball season will be all eyes on it, and we'll have baseball season next. So hopefully. I mean, I'm just kind of nervous that the weather hasn't been really cold, because I think February might be really, really cold. So with that being said, no, just ready for 2024 and get through this year, but going to make a big batch of boudin and stuff some pork chops. And I think we might do the lane train officially 2 for 22 every day, and except Wednesday and Sunday. So going to come out with some new specials and some maybe do some other things, that some care packages and stuff like that. So got some things brewing at LB. So 2024 should be a really good year.
Absolutely. We've all seen this movie before, Greg. It's nice and mild. But then once baseball gets rolling, it's going to be 30 degrees down in that hole at Swayze Field for opening day.
Oh man, I've been there and stood over the bucket. Yeah, so it definitely gets cold down in that hole for sure. But yeah, no, looking forward. I've had some customers come in and ask me about baseball, and I'm like, you don't know what you're getting now with baseball transfer portal. So got some big hole shoes to fill with shortstop, and just got to get the arms. You got to have almost too many arms in the bullpen whenever it comes to the college games. So, but yeah, ready for that. And man, the basketball team's sneaky good. Especially with the addition to Murray, and I think Ceesay's okay. I know he kind of got hurt in the last game, but he's okay, right?
They expect him to be fine. They did a bunch of tests and everything was good. Beard just said he held him out because he said he didn't need to play anymore. Yeah. But yeah, they expect him to be good. Fun. I mean, it's about to be a fun couple months for basketball. I think they have a legitimate shot to be undefeated going into SEC play, which they open on the road at Tennessee, which is going to be a handful. But yeah, tough game against Bryant coming up. Bryant upset FAU, as we all know, run to the Final Four last year. They upset Arizona last week. So, yeah, it'll be a tough one, but yeah, Chris Beard's doing a hell of a job. Fun team to watch, man. They truly embody what Beard wants, and they play hard as hell. So it's a fun product to watch.
Yeah, Murray's a game changer. I mean, we really haven't had a really good point guard. I mean, we've had, decent point guards, but guys like, he's just on another level. And I think once the other Murray gets going, we might. I mean, I just think Flanagan's the X factor. I mean, he's a guy that
dude, he's special.
I mean, and you've got somebody like Brakefield that's, a seasoned veteran and that, has been around the SEC play. So I don't know, man. It's I'm trying not to when I go to Vegas put $1 on them to win the national championship.
All right, that is going to do it for Red and Blue Smoke. Stay locked in at omspirit.com for all of your Peach Bowl prep, basketball news and notes, and we will talk to y'all in the new year. Shout out to Greg. Hope you have a great new year. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk again soon, buddy.
Yes, sir.